Welcome back to the channel. Today is July 3rd, 2026, and I am on the Kaspa chart, ticker symbol KASPA, specifically on the MEXC exchange chart. Before we get started, I am a amateur trader and investor. I have a day job that does not involve finance, so I do not have probably the nuance of a professional investor. However, I do enjoy the looking at the charts. It is a hobby of mine, so keep that in mind as we're going through um, everything today. And if this helps you to think about making an investment in this particular coin or do some extra work, research and work on it, then I think my goal is accomplished. I also do like to go over trading concepts in my videos. So maybe even if this helps you become a interesting trader or introduces you to trading, I hope to accomplish that as well. With that being said, let's get started. So, as I mentioned before, we are on the 1 week chart of MEXC exchange. And the reason why I chose this exchange is this is the most history I could find on Kaspa uh, is related to what's in TradingView. Okay. So, as you can see, Kaspa started on this particular exchange about September of 2022. And it looks like it was just starting its first bull run uh, when it entered on this particular chart. So um, during its bull run, it was about 672 days, and it made a 40,293% gain, which is really impressive. I mean, uh, if you had gotten your money somewhere around here, you held until you got to this upper point, you made quite a lot of money. Okay. Uh, Now this bull market ended specifically during this high. So it started at a price of 0.000510 and ended with a price of about 20 cents. Okay. And then it started its bear run. And this bear run started in August of 2024. Okay. Now, what I've done here is I, I said that we are in a bear run and that it was been about 546 days. And it's come down to about minus 80% of its value. So just to show you where I'm thinking about the bear market here, okay, is we come down here and we come to about right here. And I think I stopped it right about there. Uh, this is where I think the bear market of Kaspa ended, is specifically January 2026. Okay. Now, um, I'm going to make a case of why I think its bear market is over and why it's not in a bear market anymore. But one of the things I want to just say, and I feel like I have to say this for cryptocurrency, is that not every crypto. It's been well. Let's put it this way: uh, Bitcoin dominance has really governed the market of cryptocurrency for its entire pretty much history. There's only ever been a few coins that would have a bull run while Bitcoin is having a bear run. But recently, there have been a lot more coins that have been in this situation. Okay, coins that are definitely not following the main trajectory of Bitcoin. This is probably a sign of the cryptocurrency market maturing and that it has more sectors as far as coins go, and therefore it has the coins are on a different bear and bull market sector. Okay, now keep in mind that this coin has been um, in a bear market since July of 2024. Okay, all during pretty much all through 2025. Bitcoin was made a new time high in October 10th of 2025. And if you look here, okay, in September 2025, you can tell, you know, it still was in a bearish market and it was still going down. So this is an example of a coin that's not really following Bitcoin anymore. Okay, but let's go over the case about why I think this coin is no longer in a bear market. Uh, it reminds me of actually a video I did yesterday on Sui, except that Kaspa is in this position a lot faster than Sui is. Sui is just now entering this position, but Kaspa has actually been in it since, arguably February of 2026. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is we're going to talk about the wave theory again. Okay, if you've watched some other videos of mine, you're probably sick of the wave theory. And the reason why I'm talking about the wave theory in this particular video is because, like I said, I think we're no longer in a bear run. So let's talk about it. So with wave theory, you have this idea that stocks just don't go up; they go up and down in jagged lines. So you know that your stock is trending when you see this. You see a lower low. Okay. Actually, let me draw this one more time. Okay, so this is an example of a bull market, right? Okay, you have this lower low, higher high, and that is what you're taught when you first start trading of how to identify a bull market. But one thing that's interesting about this is that uh, when you're a day trader or scalpel, they talk about waves, and what the idea is that normally when you're in a bull market, you will see 3 to 5 waves, and then what typically day traders and scalpers are going to do is on the third wave, they will take profits and they will let their the some of their money stay in the market, and they just ride those last 2 waves if they happen. Normally 3 is very normal. It shows up the most often, but you do sometimes have a fourth or fifth wave, and since you don't know, that's why when you see the end of the third wave, you take a lot of your profits out and then leave the rest to ride the fourth and fifth wave if they exist. And of course, once you think that the fifth wave is over, or it's very obvious that the fourth wave is not going to happen, then you take the rest of the money out. Okay, all right. So what I like to do is I like to, on a much larger time scale, use the wave theory to figure out, okay, where are we at with this bull market? Where are we at with the bear market? Okay, there's really only 3 states that an asset can be in. It can be trading up, okay? It can be trading down, and it can be ranging, okay? So, uh, in a ranging market, there are no waves. By the way, if that's in your question, I don't think I answered that in my last video. Okay, so let's just get over what we're seeing here in Kaspa. So, this is wave one of the bull market. I keep on saying bull. Sorry, it's bear. Okay, so this is wave one of the bear market, and this little up is up what we call a pause. Okay, that's the uh, the asset going up, and it didn't make a higher high. Now the higher high was a wick, but you still have to count it. Okay, then you have wave two. So it went from here all the way over here, and then it had a pause. Okay, now these 2 candles, you would consider sometimes to be a pause. You need at least 2 candles for a pause normally. However, notice that the candles never got above this particular candle here that was I'm just going to call a mammoth candle. And so I don't think it was a pause. So I'm calling this whole move down to here wave two. And then this is clearly a pause. This is where the price retreats up. And then we have wave three. Okay. So normally, if you are an investor or you are a trader, after this third wave, this is where you kind of wait and see, and you're kind of like, okay, you see this upward movement, but you're kind of like, is this a start of the bull market? Because you can go straight to like a V-shaped recovery. Because if you were investing or trading at the time, you say, oh, this looks like a V recovery. But really, what you have to do is look to see and wait if it's actually going to make a higher high. And as you can tell, it did not. And so this is just a pause. Okay. So we went into wave four. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And there is an argument, again, that you can make that this could be wave 4 and 5. Again, this candle was a little different. It actually broke out of 3 candles. And so this could have been wave 4. This was a pause, but again, it's only 1 candle. You usually want to see 2 candles. And then this goes downward. So I'm just calling this wave 4. Okay. And then we've entered this state where price, like I said, since February has been ranging. Okay. So what we've done is we've had 4 waves. Okay. And we have moved into what I call a ranging state. So this is where the price is just going between 2 different points. If you look at this because it's been ranging since that time, okay, there's your 8 moving average. This green line is your 20 moving average. And then you have your 200 up here. Up, I don't see a 200. And let's see if we have a 50. We have a 50. I'll go ahead and throw a 100 on. Okay, so if we had a 200, if it was trading long enough, it would be up here somewhere. Okay, all right. As you can tell, the last moving average, the 50, is heading down to this area. But right now, price is not really respecting these moving averages on the weekly chart. Okay, uh, this is a sign of ranging, and it's obvious. And this trend line that I just put is kind of mapping out where the range possibly is. We have 3 touches on the top, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on the bottom. Okay. So that being said, what does this mean? Okay. Now, since we moved into a ranging market and it has been essentially February, and we're now in June. Actually, we're in July. Sorry, I just said the date earlier. We're in July. Okay. It's been ranging for months. This is not part. This ranging is not part of the bear run. Okay. Now, it may get interpreted that if Kaspa decides to start a second leg of a bear market, okay, it is very possible that you could break out of this channel and just go lower. Okay. And then you would have another 3 to 5 waves to the downside, wherever that ends up being. Okay. I haven't looked at trend lines below this. Okay. But you also have another possibility as well. Okay. After this ranging is over, which I cannot tell you when that's going to be, all right, you would start the bull market sometime here in probably 2026. It could run into 2027. It's highly unlikely, but it would be early 2027. to where it starts a 3 to 5 wave bull market run. Okay. All right. So if you're worried about more downside in Kaspa, in other words, it breaking below this trend line, let's look at some evidence that supports the fact that we might be more moving to upside versus downside. Okay. One way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go and take a look at the 3 month chart. So we're just going to pop forward. And as you can see, from a 3 month perspective, this is actually looks like wave one if you're looking at a multi-year time frame. Okay. In other words, this whole thing up to here in August 2024 is wave one, and this whole red that you saw down to here is pause one. Okay. And it looks like, this sideways action could be considered, even though it's taking place over months, could be considered just part of this pause. Okay. If we look at it from a 12-month perspective, what do you see? You see, okay, wave one, 2 years of of um of in this pause, essentially pause one, because again this is showing a bull market. So this is pause one, and I'm going to hide this here real quick. What I want you to see is this candle came as low as 0.025 cents. However, it popped up, and since this represents a whole year of trading action, this particular candle is not finished. Okay. So what is this candle going to look like at the end of the year? Is it going to look more like a bullish hammer, or is it going to go down further? I mean, like, again, I'm not thinking further. I'm thinking that this is just simply the first pause on a multi-year bull market. So those are things in favor based on the looks of the chart, and but again, it could go further. Now, this particular green candle here, it only prints in 2 months. Okay, if this candle stays green and starts going higher, this could be your pivot point of Kaspa moving into a bull market. So we're just going to have to watch this candle over the next 2 months and 28 days. Okay, this is just starting. Okay, again, we are still in the ranging period when you look at it from the weekly perspective. Okay, all right, so that's bullish sign number one. Okay, if we go over to our to this chart where we're trying to gauge overbought, oversold, and momentum, uh, what's interesting, I got it on the daily. I need to take that off. Okay, let's switch it to the weekly. Okay, we have your RSI here, and we had in the last bull run a little bit of bearish divergence. Okay, and since then the RSI has been let's see, where is it? Right here. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna draw this line here. Okay, the RSI has been below this trend line, and as you can tell, for some reason, on the weekly, you can see that the RSI has been, as it's ranged, it's come up to touch this trend line. It was rejected, went back down. It's going to come up and touch in this trend line again. We'll have to see if it breaks above this trend line or if it just goes more down to the downside. However, we have been at the lowest point of the RSI here, which is at about, this says 31, 32. Okay. We never reached below 30. However, based on Kaspa's history since 2022, this is the lowest it's been on the RSI before. It's right here. Okay. All right. If you look at momentum on the weekly, the last stochastic RSI cross that we had was March 26th, 2026. And it's been heading down to below 20, but it's not there yet. It's probably going to make it. And the money flow index, again, it has gone lower and higher. This is all part of the ranging, but we are moving to oversold. Okay. What my point is for from a bullish perspective is that even though we aren't below 30, there's not as much, there's more upside than there is downside in this particular case for this asset. And then my last particular thing I want to look at is the directional movement indicator. And remember, this white line represents momentum and it's sitting at 14. So for a stock to be considered trending, it has to be 20 and above. And what this is showing is since we started, we had in February was when uh, was pretty much the last candle, okay, of when the bear market ended. So this is the last candle here, and as you can tell, the trending was at about, let's see, 21. So it's barely, the bear market had really slowed down. Then this candle occurred and the trend started going up. It reached a high of 27. So not a real strong momentum. And then it's been going down. And the reason why it's been going down is because it's just been, like I said, flat like this. Okay. Which I don't know if you can tell based on my green cursor here. Okay. Selling is on top, buying is on the bottom, but they're very close to each other. And in the near future, it's already crossed before. But again, this is all normal during a ranging market. Okay. So now that we've talked about all that, uh, what's the bottom line with Kaspa? What do you want to look for? Well, if this is a asset that you are interested in getting into, this particular low trend line is a great place to invest. Really, anything in here, but uh, if, for example, um, uh, Caspa on this starts this run and breaks out, then you would miss out. But anywhere in this area is a great time for a long-term investment to get into Caspa. And as you can tell, the last bull run was over 2 years. So if it does end up being over 2 years, this is a great place to invest. And so that's what my recommendation would be, is consider putting buy limits here at this bottom trend line. Maybe go ahead and nibble now where you are if you have an investment. If you are already in Caspa and, for example, you didn't sell at the top, just hold. Okay. I have no idea whether, I'm not going to give a price prediction of a new all-time high or anything, but it does look a bull market is going to start, and it doesn't have as long to go in the last bull market. I don't know how long it would take to get up there. It just really depends on a lot of things. But even if Caspa doesn't end up making a new all-time high, you would be at a better selling position if you didn't get out of Caspa last time. For example, it may make its way up to here or up here, and you would recover more of your money if you waited. So that's where I'm at. I don't know what Caspa is going to do. I can't remember if I mentioned this. I'm not currently invested in Caspa, and I don't think I've ever traded it before. But it looks very interesting, and it's going to make me think. With that being said, I just want to say, the July 4th holiday is tomorrow. I hope that you're meeting up with family and friends, and that God blesses your July 4th parties and cookouts. And, I don't know what you like to make for July 4th, but I hope that it all goes smoothly.